Hello and welcome back to College Disc Golf News with me, your host, Nickens, bringing you all of the college disc golf news. And yeah, this is just going to be one big long video. Usually I break these up, but I just don't got time to. There's so many videos to do here later with team rankings and other stuff like that. And I figured I'd just be one long one to just kind of get everything from this weekend out there so you can kind of skip around. I'll probably put some notes in the bottom if you want to see your event or anything like that. Of course, we're going to be breaking down the regional first with the Rocky Mountain Regional, but make sure you're staying in the know. Make sure you like, subscribe. That way it gets it out to other people, and make sure you turn notifications on so that way you never miss anything that I'm posting. So previously, I told you guys that I had messed up. I did not have the right layout for this, and so I had Colorado State at 20 down, BYU at 18, Tech at 16 down, Colorado at 15 down, and Boise State at 13 down. Now, this layout was almost 2,000 feet shorter, and so basically, if I had the right information, I probably would have predicted 5 to 8 strokes better for D1, and the same for D2. And for D2, I had Colorado School of Mines taking it down, then Utah Valley, then Colorado Mesa, then Colorado, and Colorado State. 15 down for was the score I would have had for them, before, and then after probably would have been like 20 to 23 down, depending on how I was feeling. And then for the ladies, I had originally Chelsea Harding from Utah State taking it down, and then Taylor Moore in second. Here's what actually played out this weekend. So I had the bid winners from the Rocky Mountain Regional spot on. Colorado State dominated 33 down. It was a blowout. It was just never even close. These guys, again, I was talking about how important it was to have the course knowledge, especially on this course, knowing where the lines are. And man, they went like 14 down in one round. It was never close. 16 down in their first round. I mean, they were just going to win it after that point. Nobody was catching them, even with BYU having such a great singles rounds. In singles, Christopher Darby and Henry Trolson took the top two spots for Colorado State. So there was no chance for BYU, even with three guys all within the top 10, to even make up any strokes against Colorado State. It was just complete and total domination. It was never in doubt for the Rams, and it was a really big weekend for me. I got all that right, and I got almost everybody inside the top five correct. The only one that I missed was Utah State. I did have Tech a little higher. Colorado School of Mines was never, I don't think, ever going to make it. Now I will say their D2 team, had they played D1, they would have beat out Colorado by one stroke. So I do have them highly rated, and they were just on the cusp of really getting a D1 bid. But I think securing that D2 bid was probably smart for them, at least for this weekend. And again, if you ignore the strokes, like if I had the right strokes, I probably would have been only like three away if I was conservative with my estimate. Once I knew that it was a different layout, Colorado School of Mines won, which is what I predicted. Utah Valley in second, exactly what I predicted. And then I did kind of get lucky with my top five, I will say, when I did predict it. Colorado State, Colorado, and Colorado Mesa we're all tied for fourth, so all of them are technically within the top five, which works out for me. I'm 9-1. I'm predicting the top five of regionals. That looks great, but it is tough other than that. UC Davis, I was worried about, and I did originally when I was originally making it. I was like, I saw them, and they had Devin Salcedo, who placed really well in singles, and I was like, maybe he can carry them. But I didn't know much about their other two players, so I kind of erred on the side of caution, and that was correct. Even though they were one stroke away into getting into that tie for fourth, I think I did have it right. So very happy with that. My predictions were pretty much spot on the whole weekend, even with me severely underrating Colorado. Shout out to them though; they played really well in both of their divisions. I almost had them bang on for D2. However, they're a lot higher in strokes. Just because it was a different layout. And yeah, and for the ladies again, Taylor Moore won with a +4, like probably around an 860, 870 rated round. Unfortunately, this is not rated. I don't know the reasons why. Like PDGA rates some of these rounds and then doesn't. I think it's because Chelsea doesn't have a PDGA rating, which is unfortunate for her at the end of the day and for the rest of the ladies playing because Chelsea should be having a pretty high rating after tier two events, and Taylor Moore did not. And this is, separate. It is just because the website has not been working for the college disc golf. It's not on them. Someone's building it out, and the person who originally used to run it is no longer running it. It's a little bit of a mess. I don't think it's not Chad or any of the people who are in charge at college disc golf's fault. I think it's just taking some time and longer than it takes normally because I think they're just building and prepping for the future. So that way they don't have to keep doing this where it's consistently late. But because of that, we don't have ratings on this round, and Taylor should have a much higher rating, even though she doesn't at the moment. But congrats to her for taking it down. And the Utah State Aggies, they're looking pretty solid. Definitely a team to watch out for in the future. If they can continue growing and playing consistently, I don't see why they cannot do well at regionals. Yeah, and very quickly, I'll just show you signals. Again, Christopher Darby won, then Henry Schulson. Philip Romney, again, Utah State, I wanted to put in the top five, but they just did not have the pieces to really take this down. And similar with Tech, I thought they did have the pieces to take it down with Logan Cawthorn. Weren't able to. They were at, Philip was at 7 down, then Logan at 6 down, Caden Leeper at 6 down, another Colorado State guy that just put them over the edge. I mean, BYU had a solid round, especially for just kind of playing the course that weekend, but it was not enough. Hey, on D2, they were playing the same layout, and Randy Lamb Jr. from the School of Mines, 9 down, basically would have tied for D1. And then Trace James for UVU, also there. But both these teams, they would have come up short in D1, and they went to D2 and were able to get their bids. And congrats to them. They definitely deserve it. And shout out to the UC Davis guys, Devin Salcedo, Maxwell Burns for playing well, and also for the Colorado guys, Evan Wesco and Sam Weiss also playing well up there. Of course, you can't forget about Evan DeMeyer and Garrett Corwell from Northern Colorado and UVU also playing well this weekend. We're going to go to Hammond Hill now for the Great Lake Discs Collegiate Clash, where we had Ferris State, Michigan State, Calvin all trying to take down the crown. Michigan State at home. I had originally predicted them to win. Now, I didn't realize how difficult this course was going to be. I had them at 16, then 14 down, respectively. Michigan State winning, and then Ferris State in second at 14. Then Calvin, and then Grand Valley State, and then Western Michigan. And originally, I was thinking, hey, like maybe, Michigan State, they're back on it. They're going to get there. Ferris State, they were coming back with Benji, but I still felt confident that Michigan State was going to be able to take it down. And you know what? I think Michigan State might have to end up on my do not predict list just because every time I do predict them, they don't win. And then every time I don't predict them, they do win. It just seems like I'm always off on knowing when Michigan State's going to win or not. Ferris State was able to take it down. Now, I will say this really did come down to singles. And there were definitely some misstrokes on the board for Michigan State. Uh, I saw Luke. I'm sorry, buddy. I saw your putting performance. It was not good. It was a little little unsteady to say the least. 7 of 18 in circle one is not where you want to be, and being in circle one that often and only going 2 down, I'm sure is a little disappointing. What's not disappointing though is being a 945 rated player and shooting 50 points above your rating. And that was Dominic Kramer. He was able to have 6 birdies, only a couple bogeys on the day. He played lights out, was able to take the dub for Fair State over Benjamin Zorm, who had a little bit of a rocky day. He had 6 birdies, but also 3 bogeys, and this is a difficult track, and so he only shot 11 points above his rating. And it was a up and down to say the least. Well, as Michigan State, they had both their guys up in the second place or third place. That is, but bogeys for Lincoln Lloyd were the takeaway, and Luke Conway only had 3 bogeys, but missed a ton of putts, and that is going to take you out of it. At the same time, uh, For the rest of the guys on Michigan State, you had Sam Kelly at 2 over, but unfortunately Nathan Simmons did not have a great day. Finished 20th out of 24th. Just wasn't able to get on the birdie train. Had a lot of bogeys and finished 7 over, which means that heading into the team round, Michigan State was down by 2 strokes. They were able to make up 1 stroke against Ferris State, but it was not enough, and Ferris State able to take home the dub. So I had, I had an idea in my head. I said, I'm gonna put Ferris State above. I'm gonna put Ferris State above Michigan State in my power rankings, so that way the next Great Lakes Collegiate Conference event, when I do predict Michigan State to win, I will be on track because I've done something negative, and so now that means I'll be on the same page with them in terms of predictions. So that's my idea. That's my plan. I'm sure. I'm sorry, Luke. I'm sorry, Lincoln, but I'm doing what I have to do to get my prediction record up. Also, want to quickly shout out the ladies that played this weekend. We had two from Ferris State. You had Delaney Beckett and Josie Harrison. They played the Hammond Shorts. And as I predicted, Delaney Beckett did take it down 12 over her teammate Josie Harrison. Both had a couple birdies on the day. Congrats to them. Still, it's a difficult course, so I didn't see how exactly it rated or in the past, but congrats to them and keep at it and excited to see what they do in the future. We are now heading over to Harmon Hills. We're going to talk about the Milligan Buffalo Trail. I had originally had Tennessee beating Milligan in an upset fashion, 19 down for Tennessee, Milligan at 18 down, then ETSU at 15 down, Tennessee Tech, and then Carson Newman at 5 down. Now, I did have singles right. I'm going to be honest. I did have singles right. Tennessee came out firing in singles. Harper Thompson took down the W with an impressive 10 down at Harmon Hill. It's no slouch at all. It's such a fun course, but taking down Harmon Hills against such an elite group of guys is impressive. Caleb Hall still kicking, playing well for ETSU. He was at 8 down. Then you had Ethan Bishop at 6 down, leading the charge for the Milligan Buffaloes. Then Hunter Osborne, King University. He's really solid, local guy from East Tennessee. Excited to see what he does on King. King played really well this weekend, so happy and excited for them. Then you had two other Tennessee guys. You had Matthew Monroe and Broden Barlow at 3 down. And so Tennessee's average heading into teams was 2 strokes better. It was 5 down average for Tennessee to Milligan's 3 down average. And as you can see, if you're watching on YouTube, Milligan takes it down with a crazy 16 down round. I couldn't believe it. It was a sensational round, a generational round. Now through 7 holes, right? Milligan and UT were still tied, but on 8, I know this guy, know him well. Reeve loves to throw the eagle line. This is a tight dogwood right, and there is a way to get over a giant cavern in order to get the 2. He two'd it twice on the day. Shout out to him. And after that, that was a 2-stroke swing, right? UT parred. Milligan was up by 1, and heading into the back 9, they shot 8 down. That is a difficult back 9 track. And UT got cold. They could not find the green. I mean, they missed some pretty easy holes. They missed 16. They missed 14. I mean, they missed 13. These are holes that you should be able to get. And when you don't hit those, you fall out of contention. And with 2 eagles on the day, Milligan was able to take it down. Shout out to them. A dominant round by them, making it look too easy at this course that is so difficult. Often I've seen it. There can be not a lot of scoring separation because you should be birdieing these holes, but Milligan making it look easy, making it look like a difficult course out there. I'm sure UT was disappointed. 8 down when on singles Harper Thompson shot 10 down by himself is difficult to see. I know I heard Broden was dealing with some shoulder issues or something like that. tough to see, and you hate to hear that. You don't want to win and lose in that way, but it is what it is, and that's how the cards fall for today. Congrats to Milligan taking it down. Now, on the ladies' side of things, we had singles out there this weekend, and Tennessee Tech, for the first time in a long time, has a ladies' team, and Kyra Sims from Tennessee Tech takes it down. Congrats to her winning by 5 strokes over Haley Crouch. An impressive win for her. I know Haley was feeling a little down on herself today. 10 over is still not bad, but Kyra just an impressive round, out shooting some guys. When I first had the red tees out there, I mean it's not an easy course. Harmon Hills is always difficult, so 5 over, impressive stuff. Congrats to her on taking it down. Haley Crouch with 10 over, and then Chloe Reynolds 17 up. And then Aspen Galagos, 21 up. I know Chloe's probably disappointed in her round, but still no slouch. Harmon is a difficult course, and I've seen it people eat people's lunch. It's scoreable, but also yet fair, and that's what I really love about it. But congrats to them and the ladies on that side of things. We got 2 more events to talk about. Let's talk about the other 2 day event. Sorry, of the weekend. 2 round versus 3 round is what I was thinking of. But the other one of the weekend was the Fire Mountain Fling at Cherokee Disc Golf Sanctuary, where Clemson, Charlotte, NC State, Western Carolina, App State were all vying for the #1 spot in that Carolinas conference. This is the first time we had a South Carolina team come up and play the North Carolina squad, so it was going to be interesting to see. I had Clemson taking it down. I thought they were going to be able to. I thought, even with this being kind of a tight technical woods course, they had just played one, and I thought they were going to be able to take it down over Charlotte with 3 down. Now, I guess I overestimated how difficult this course was. Maybe some trees were knocked down from Helene. I'm not sure. I haven't seen it in a bit. But I remember this was going to be a difficult track. It still is, but these guys made it look pretty easy, I will say. So after the first round, Charlotte was 2 strokes ahead of Clemson, and they had a 1 bogey 9 down, a very impressive round from them. Now, on the other side, though, Clemson made up a stroke on the singles round, especially with the help of Davidson McMurray, having an incredible 4 down, 1028 rated, super impressive from him. No slash to UNC, they had a couple guys up in the top 10. But they were able to keep it clean, both of them. And shout out to WCU, who also had a very impressive singles round as well with their average. Definitely an improvement from where they were last week. But it came down to the last round, and Clemson was able to put together an impressive 7 down. They did have 3 bogeys, which if they don't have that 3rd bogey, they win outright. But they had an incredible 3-stroke swing on 17 to then force it to a playoff. But Charlotte was able to still come out on top in the end. An incredible, I'm sure it was incredibly proud of him watch. I did hear that halfway through the round that Clemson ran into a beehive. Few of them got stung. That's rough, especially with their incredible comeback and then to come up short in the end. Tough, but congrats to them. This was a fun one to see on the live, and I'm sure being there, it would have been super fun to watch. But also shout out WCU beating a weaker NC State team. I think they had few guys not there. They had some B team guys on there that their A team guys weren't necessarily there. But still, I mean, this was a B team that beat some of the A team guys last week, so I'd still count it. I think it's still an impressive showing from WCU, especially going under on a difficult track like Fire Mountain. An impressive performance from them. Last, but certainly not least for the weekend, was the Power Cat Invitational, hosted by Kansas State in Manhattan, Kansas. And I had Emporia State. They did not have Carter Aarons, but I had Emporia State taking it down at 18 down. Then Oklahoma Christian at 17 down, Kansas State at 14 down, Kansas at 9 down, and then Heston at 5 down. This was a difficult 10,000-foot track course. The Fair Monster layout for teams. They were playing Fairmont Park Reds for the regular, but they were playing the Fair Monster, a 10,000 safari hole layout, and it was going to be a fun one for sure to see how it shook out. Now, Emporia State showed out in singles. Let's be clear. They played super well in singles and exactly how I thought they would. I thought that, they were going to come out, they were going to play super well, and they showed it in singles. TJ Reel, 10 down, winning the event, the singles side of things. Then you had Grant Yoder, 7 down and a 1,000 rated round. TJ Reels was 1,035 with a bogey, right? Then you had Joshua Sterner at 4 down, right? They were going to have a pretty elite round with that. And unfortunately, even with, Caden shooting an even round, they were going to be in the lead heading into the team's round side of things. Now, I also want to take some time to shout out Wyatt Arender with an 8 down, shooting 60 points above his rating. Impression for him. Elijah Clearly, still clearly, playing well. He was able to continue with his winning ways or his podium finishing ways with another third place here after the collegiate. Wichita State, which I did not have originally on my picks, Josiah Farney, he was there, he played well. Wichita signed up late, can't do nothing about that. And Devin Miller from Heston. Heston still got some good guys on that team. Hopefully they can continue improving, but it was gonna come down to the team's round side of things, and Emporia State had a stroke lead over Kansas State and a 2-stroke lead over Oklahoma Christian heading into doubles. And Kansas State was able to pull it out with an impressive 11 down on, again, a 10,000 foot long course. I mean, this is not your easy, easy breezy, beautiful cover girl kind of course, 6,000 foot pitch and putt basically for some of these college guys. No, they went out there and they birdied the first 5 holes in a row. What a statement! While the other two teams, they kind of coasted. Oklahoma Christian went even through the first 5 holes, and Emporia State watched their lead erased by only going 2 down through those first 5. Now, Oklahoma Christian was able to bring it back. They had a 10 down overall. From 8 on, they only parred 2 holes. But with Kansas State birding those first 5, they just got to take some of those easier holes, those easier fours on 8 and 10, and then also 17 and 18. They were able to birdie pretty easily as well. Emporia State, they just never got into gear. They had a bogey on 17, which eventually took them out of the hunt for even the win. With Oklahoma Christian then burning the last 2, they couldn't even get second. Just not the best team performance. It's not an easy course by any means. Just to make that clear. But this is a team that you expect to really be up there, especially with the talent they have. And they just weren't able to get it done. Both Oklahoma Christian and Kansas State able to beat them, which, I'm sure once Emporia has Carter Aarons back, they'll be, getting into shape, getting things back together. But I was definitely shocked when I saw this. And, kudos to Kansas State. They had the home course advantage, knowing the course, being able to practice it. I mean, this is a local favorite for sure in Manhattan, Kansas, from what I've heard. And you know what? They took it down. They won it for that Wildcat pride out there. And so shout out to them. Still no slouch to Oklahoma Christian with Elijah Clearly. And I'm sure once Colton Webb, I think he finished 2 down, 30 points under his rating. I'm sure he's disappointed in that. I'm sure he'll be back, though. That's a guy that, last year was rated top 20 in all of college disc golf. And so be on the lookout for them. Also, shout out Wichita State, their first event of the year, beating Kansas. So getting that 4th spot, definitely be on the lookout for them. I was not paying attention to them, obviously. I didn't know that they were what they were doing this year, but shout out to them, taking down that 4th place, beating a pretty good Kansas Jayhawk squad there for the A teams, and they were able to beat out all the B teams, which doesn't necessarily happen all the time. So shout out to Kansas and Wichita State. Then I want to quickly mention the ladies' side of things. I originally picked Jocelyn Whip, but funnily enough, this is how funny college disc golf is sometimes. A girl named Charlie Conroy, who is living in Kansas but goes to LSU online, eventually played in the event and actually won it. So congrats to her. I don't know how that's going to get connected or how that works in college disc golf, but you see, as if you're watching on YouTube, you see I have the little Wi-Fi and computer LSU little logo here. Thought it was funny, but if she doesn't show up, my prediction for Jocelyn Whipf cashes. But you know what? What are you supposed to do when an LSU Tiger living in Kansas comes and takes down the event? So just a fun time. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. It's a longer video. I usually try to keep it a little shorter, but trying to break everything down, get it all out to you. Tomorrow I'll have out a video breaking down my predictions records and the power rankings that are going on that I've already posted. Just kind of give you my thoughts and a breakdown of that. So make sure you're liking, subscribing, staying tuned for everything. And if you made it to the end of the video, huge thank you to you. I'm very thankful for everybody who's been watching and just enjoying this content that I'm putting out. So thank you. Would not be doing it if it wasn't for you guys. So I'm Nickens, and I'm going to see you guys later. Peace.